Hi Virgo, this is your reading for the week of February 2nd, or when you hear it and it resonates. And of course, it will not be for every Virgo. Virgo, the image that came to mind as I started feeling into your energy was a scene from The Princess Bride. And I'm reminded of it. We just recently watched it again, almost as an homage to Carl Reiner. And the scene that struck me for you was this. It was the little boy in the bed with all of these, action figures behind him, if I remember correctly, and his grandfather coming in to read him the story, the fairy tale of the Princess Bride. And the little kid is saying, oh, ick, kissing, romance. And of course, the whole wonderful point around which this whole movie operated was the fact that this little kid who was trying to be so tough and so bored with the whole romance thing actually got so engrossed in the story that he absolutely not only wanted to hear it, but wanted to hear it again. And the kissing wasn't so bad. Now, this I get for you, Virgo, because I feel like you're the little kid in the bed going, ooh, kissing. Not that you aren't maybe interested in it, but that there's this part of you that is operating, because I'm seeing it as a little kid, that there are probably some of you who are operating from a position of what's possible for you in the realm of love based on your childhood, based on what you have come to believe is possible in the world, based on experiences that have followed through and perhaps created disappointment in your love life. Now, what I'm being told is this. Of course the little kid gets to hear the whole story and will hear it again because he has a loving grandfather who understands what's going on with his resistance to hearing the story. And so he sticks with it. And he agrees to come back the next day to read it again. So what you're also being told here, my very dear Virgos, is you have that part of you already. That grandfatherly, grandmotherly, wise person is already a part of you. This is not something that needs to come to you from the outside. What you're being told here is that check in with what you believe your resistances are, or check in, not with what you believe your resistances are. Check in with what your beliefs are around romance. Ask yourself, do I believe that I am worthy of being loved? Do I believe I am worthy of having a healthy, happy, emotional relationship with a healthy, mature human? Do I feel like that's actually possible? If I don't feel like that's possible, what's the feeling in me that says no? And that will usually take you to a time or a place or a belief that you have. And sometimes it's a real shock where you might actually hear yourself, no, actually, I never did believe that I would find love. Whoa, well, that's pretty huge. That gives you something. Now, this is a moment when you can identify an energy, because what's an emotion? Emotion is an energy that we feel in our body. Usually, mostly. It runs through our body at any rate, whether or not we feel it. It runs through our body and affects our body, our chemistry, our energy, our neural patterning. It affects everything. So when you identify something that is such a statement of lack and impossibility, then that gives you an idea of the kind of energy that's running at a subconscious level and maybe programming some of your behaviors and some of your attitudes. That is A, going to determine who you attract, and B, going to determine how you respond in those times. What you're being told to do, Scorpio, is look at what it is you would really like. Now, it's important when you ask yourself what you really like, what you really want. Also check in with what is it you're willing to offer, and who do you wish to be in that situation? Who do you wish to be in that relationship? I realized one year when I was doing a lot of work with manifesting, and I was deliberately doing it around relationship, and I'd written out all of these wonderful things until I realized, my God, Who was I going to have to be in order to be in that? Realizing I did not want at that point in my life to be in a monogamous relationship with someone where I had to fulfill a commitment to being present for a certain amount of time or in a particular way. Now, that might seem reasonable now at this age, but many of my friends at that age were still just going full bent, looking for partners because they had goals that were different than mine. And a partner seemed like an essential thing for them. But until I said to myself, why am I writing that down? Do I really feel that? Do I really want that? And when I checked in with that, it was like, no, I don't want that, because that would mean I would be this and I would have to be that. Okay, now move that aside. That's an important point of reflection. But the other thing, Virgo, is this. When you are determining what it is you want, what it is you would like, can you please check in with whether or not you can imagine it the way it would be ideal? So, for example, you might say, no, I really don't want to get married, because you imagine, like I did, that marriage would have to mean this and this and this. Well, what if it doesn't have to be marriage? What if it doesn't have to be any of the previous conceived ideas that you have? What if you could say, yeah, well, no, I don't want a relationship like the one I saw my parents live or my friends are living. That's not what I want. What I would like would be, and then express yourself honestly. If you could have that kind of relationship, would you want one? If you could have a relationship in which you felt honored, respected, powerful, empowered, cooperative, safely cooperative, if you could have a relationship that supported the best part of you and where you could support the best part of the other person, wouldn't that be, or would that be something that you would want? Because very often we think we don't want something because we package it the way we'd seen it packaged before. But now you're getting to create it from all of your new standards, from all of these new visions that you've had about what life could potentially be. And you are being asked again, Virgo, oh my goodness, check in. Where are you experiencing, and can you experience pleasure? And where can you apply humor to this so that you can look at this and it not have to be all serious? Understand that so many of the things that are serious about looking at situations like this are coming from an expectation of hopelessness or that it can't change. No, you are now in a position where you have done a lot of work. Many of you have done a lot of work to free yourself from like those chains that are holding you back into an old identity and an old ego structure. So you're being asked, when you are thinking about your future and what you would like and this new story you want to create, can you please make pleasure be foundational to whatever you're doing? Use humor when you come up across the things that look super serious and impossible and hopeless. Exaggerate them into a caricature or do something so that you can lighten it up and laugh at the humanness of all of it, the messiness of all of it. And when you are deciding what it is you want, check in with yourself. Why are you saying it? Do you really feel it? Is it still what you're feeling? Was it based on an old idea? If you say it now, does it still resonate and make you feel positive and happy and expressive? Does it bring up a fear? What does it bring up? Notice that and allow that to guide you. This is a powerful time for all of us to be shifting from the old story and into the new one. So this is the support for you, Virgo. This is the guidance for you to be able to step back, look at what you want, get in touch with what is honestly going to be something that can take you into a future that is liberated, a future where you get to be able to really genuinely Know what you want in the moment for who you are now, who you've become after all this work, and where that can take you. Okay, Virgo? It's a good story. Take care.